I'm gonna give up on shaving because I keep getting myself injured. And there we go. Fix that. I just don't think my face was intended by God to shave. So let's see if the sound is working. Yeah, it seems to be. We'll chop that off. My face was intended by God to shave. Okay, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglash for the WDMA, and we're going to be talking about RFM today, and also some award-winning stuff and how to keep your company going when everyone else is falling by the wayside. Should be good, I think. And first, let's go to the Aldi Christmas ad for this year, which has its moments. Okay, they're getting ready to go, all passengers, to Paris. That's important. Here we go.
Mummy, can I give my pocket money to Neighbourly? They're helping families in
Neighborly,
need.
so
Merry
plugs
Christmas,
for Neighborly.
Christmas in Paris, a family vacation.
They're going to
Wasn't
Paris.
someone missing from this festive
They're in the
celebration?
airplane. Kevin!
For this little carrot would spend Christmas at home.
Watching the World
He
Cup.
often gets scared when left all alone.
Wow.
Quaking in his roots, he had to make a stand.
What a great move there. So he's now defending the house. And look at, they get all the shots of everything good for Christmas, including the pudding. And,
All of a sudden, he had a bright idea, which almost dashed his
I don't
hopes
know
of
what
seeing
that
in
was
New
about.
Year.
Fried carrot.
Fearing that his plans had left him quite
This was
exposed,
over
he
the
made a
top
hasty
for me.
exit
I
to
could have
become
left
a
this out.
snowman's nose.
Nose.
Santa, thank goodness you're here. Someone's been trying to get in. Kevin!
But even though
That
Kevin
was a little too
worse
much
for wear,
Adult
he was
for me.
overjoyed to have everybody there.
But
I'm
it's
sorry about
a little
Paris.
funny. It
At
was
least we got
quite
to
a
see the
surprise.
Let's make Christmas amazing for everyone.
Okay, so anyway. Aldi's commitment to Kevin the Carrot and to Christmas and to low prices has won it a number of awards. Let's turn this off and get over to the PDF. Okay, I got the wrong one up. Aldi, brand of 2022. And Aldi's dedication to low prices has won it, and the humble carrot has, whoops, I don't know what I'm hitting here. I'm hitting something. Aldi brand. Yeah, I guess I missed that one. Okay, it also won a big award in Australia. So Aldi's been on a journey since entering the UK market 30 years ago. Okay, they have a carrot called Kevin, helping to propel, and it's a really good article. You know, Aldi has had a stellar year. In the last quarter, it brought on 1.5 million new customers, making its total customer base 14.2 million. Okay, the percentage of households shopping at Aldi increased to 65%. So they 2/3 of UK shop at Aldi. My mom, when it first came to America, I'd never even heard of it. My mom used to love going to Aldi. Sales are up 22.7% compared year over year, and Aldi's market share has gone from 7.9 to 9.2. Consistency and commitment to low price got it named Brand of the Year. They've been expanding the number of stores in the UK. A large portion of the products come from the UK, including even 40% of its fruits and vegetables, and all of its meat and milk. Okay, and that tells you something about their commitment, since it's a British chain. You know, I mean, it's a German chain. Really, really doing well. And then they get into the turning point was in 2011, so about 10, 11 years ago. And they had an ad. I should have played this ad too, but maybe I'll put a link to it in the where should I put it? I'll put it on LinkedIn. Anyway, it's an elderly woman comparing a box of Procter & Gamble chips or tips, I think it is, with Aldi's own brand before declaring she preferred gin. It's really funny. She's doing this comparison. She says, I like gin. So they've had a lot of those, a little bit funny, a little bit over the top commercials for years, and then in 2016 they brought on Kevin the Carrot and his adventures, and they've really been good. I mean, I really like them. Last year, the supermarket chain was taken to court by Marks and Spencer's because of a copyright or a trademark infringement. Marks and Spencer's had Cuthbert they had Colin the Caterpillar, and and Aldi came up with Cuthbert the Caterpillar cake. So that's apparently caterpillar cakes are a thing in the UK. And how many C names are there? Well, it could have been Charlie. It might have been better off. But anyway, so then they got on social media and ran a campaign of free Cuthbert the Caterpillar. And there were Cuthbert fans even protesting outside of Marks and Spencer. So Aldi is a worthy winner and won even in Australia. They won a big thing too. Okay, here's Musk comes up with a new concept for Twitter. Reinstates some banned Twitter accounts. Not all of them, although he did do the Babylon Bee account, which is one of my favorites, but I subscribe directly because they've been banned so many times. He unveiled the concept of freedom of speech, not freedom of reach. What a great line. You know, I got to give it to him. He's almost as funny as the Babylon Bee. One of the problems with Twitter has always been that if you comment quickly on a post by some celebrity or notable, you ride on the coattails of their followers, of their reach. You get disproportionate reach compared to your own efforts. And if you can get them to engage with you, it's even more astounding. So Twitter has always been unbalanced in that way, that the person who goes and gets the followers, may or may not benefit as much as the person who criticizes that person. And it's part of the business model, right built in there. So now they're saying, well, we're not going to stop you from saying stuff, but we're not necessarily going to promote what you say. I've seen and heard a lot of stories about them shadow banning the and changing it says the trending news. It doesn't take much to be trending. Sometimes only a couple of thousand retweets and stuff will get you trending, but oftentimes it'll go thousands and thousands, and all of a sudden they realize that it's not their ideology, and it'll just disappear. So they've been playing games for a long time. It says negative and hate tweets will be max deboosted and demonetized, so no ads or other revenue to Twitter. I think that's also good. They're gonna take it in their own pocketbook. You won't find the tweet unless you specifically seek it out, or hopefully, if I'm following somebody, I'll see their tweets, whether, I don't care if they're boosted or not. I don't care, if it's big news. In fact, I'd rather have less news, right? On Facebook, one of the things that makes Facebook enjoyable is that if you follow groups, if you join groups, and you have to have groups let you in most of the time. If you join groups, and you go, and Facebook will notify you that you've got a new post from somebody in the group, and you don't ever see any ads. It's really wonderful. It makes it, I don't care about my friends. I care about my groups. So if you want to have a good Facebook experience, get your family in a group, and you make it private. Nobody else sees it, and it's not your main, whatever you call that, feed, and off you go. Okay. One of the notable catalogs of all time, Williams-Sonoma, announced third quarter results. An 8.1 comparative gain, 25% 2-year, and almost 50% 3-year comp. And this is a mature catalog company. We delivered another quarter of record revenues, earnings in a challenging environment. Way to go. And, one of the things I like is down here it says, that they market through catalogs. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, here it goes. They market through e-commerce, websites, direct mail catalogs, and retail stores. So I gave you a copy of their "'Tis the Season." Look at that, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. You know, one of my great regrets in life is that that Chicago Cutlery wanted me to build a catalog with them, like the Chef's Catalog or Williams Sonoma, and I didn't have a big enough vision for it. I showed them how they could be profitable like every year for 5 years and have sales of 10 million. They wanted sales of more like $1 billion or at least a couple of $100 million. And we could have done that, could have done it just as well, but they were very disappointed when I didn't think big enough. So big mistake. Getting started with list segmentation. The basics of list segmentation. This is from Stephen Lett. I don't know where his name went, but it's at the bottom. And he and I go back a long, long way. The basics of list segmentation are knowing who to mail and who not to mail. And that's maybe more important. And that's what has been my career for the last 30 or 40 years, deciding who not to mail. What is segmentation? It means to divide the marketplace into parts, okay, or segments, which are definable, accessible, and actionable. And one of the problems with the gated walled village, whatever they call them, is that you don't necessarily know what the segments really, who's seeing the ad, who's seeing your ads. Whereas in direct mail, you can really tightly define, based on first-party data, who's getting and who's not getting your catalog. Okay. The simple answer is to protect against overmailing certain customers and wasting precious marketing dollars. Now, Steve's focus in this article is mail, but I think that it has even more merit in email. That we need to think about over emailing, even if the cost isn't a factor. The value of the customer is a factor. Okay, and segmentation, of course, is one way to figure out who to email and who not. And the best system he's ever found is recency, frequency, and monetary value. RFM has stood the test of time. Interestingly, I had a conversation this past week on RFM. They watched some of my videos on YouTube. I have a playlist, I think, on YouTube on RFM and the dangers of it. And so you can go over there. Maybe I'll put that link up. He says recency is always the number one criteria for determining a repeat purchase. And if you get my book, there's one available on Amazon. I'm trying to rewrite it, but the Kindle will probably be available forever. Spinning Strong to Gold. It has some really cautionary stories. When I was working with Cabela's, it was our first real big catalog mailer that we were doing customer segmentation modeling for. And when we built the model, we were building the model for the fishing catalog, launching in January, mailing in January, and we were working on it in November. And we were working on it based on last year's results. And when we built the model, the recency wasn't in it. It was just not there. It was gone. Recency was not only wasn't it at the top of the model, which is common, but it wasn't in the model at all, really, to speak of. And so I called my friend Tim Mabey, who was at Neiman Marcus and had given talks at the DMA about RFM and about modeling. And I said, Tim, what's up? Recency isn't in the model. He said, your model's wrong. Now, at the time, people who were doing modeling were doing one model to find the best customers, to find how deep to go. And they would have one big model and say, who are our best customers, period. Now, we'd been working with the Hudson Bay Company in Canada, and I said, well, the best customer for, using the credit card at gas stations isn't necessarily the best customer for using it for travel. And even in travel, it's different going to Cancun or the Yukon. It's really, really different. What are it could be completely different. So we need to be able to build models dynamically, like on the fly for a particular offer. The offer and the model must be connected, and no one was doing that in those days. Nobody even, it took so long to build a model, and it was so expensive that almost nobody was modeling in it in general. And so the idea of modeling for a particular mailing was unheard of. And so for Cabela's, we modeled the fishing catalog. And, after Tim told us that we were probably wrong, and we really hadn't really done anything of that scale with real mailers. Hudson Bay was a credit card company inside of a retail company, so they wouldn't have necessarily known whether it was right or wrong, but Cabela's would. And then it hit me that if you're pulling names in November, who are your customers? And it turned out they were the hunters. So the recency wouldn't be at the top. The recency would be down. It would be a year ago. And because of the way we set up recency with enough sensitivity for that, it was saying, don't mail the recent buyers, mail the repeat fisherman buyers. And that's what we did. And they told us that mailing made them $2.4 million more than projected. Incremental revenue, incremental profit. And they were pretty happy with that. But then their IT department said, oh, we know how to do all that stuff. So anyway, this is why you want to get with somebody who has broad experience, because your catalog or your retail store may be different, may have some nuances, and you want to have enough variables in there that we can spot the odd stuff, because the odd stuff oftentimes is where you make the money. Okay, and then he goes on to talk about lifetime value. Excellent article, excellent beginning article, I would say. We also have a website, which I'll put in the links, called rfm.migmar.com. We used to have a special RFM, but it didn't get that much traffic, and I forgot to renew the URL. So rfm.migmar.com, and I'll put that in the links also. Anyway, highly recommend Steve's article, and feel free to give him a call. I think his number's in here, or you can find him at LinkedIn. I'll link to his profile in the notes. Have a great day. Like and share.